Hi students, welcome to the overview for Unit 10. So to this point, you have practiced analyzing rhetorical situations. We started with speeches. In our last unit, we worked with some ads, and now we're going to move on to text, written texts, and we're going to do an analysis. So this is the week that I'm going to officially assign your writing project to, and we'll spend the next few weeks on it. Meaning the rest of this module. Okay, so let's start where the assignment starts, and that is here with your official assignment. You'll see that I have a handout with everything you need to know about the assignment. This is that guide that it gives you a lot of context. So of course the prompt is really right here, this part here, and but I give you a lot of extra kind of guidance, specifics, schedule, etc. throughout the handout. So just make sure you do kind of take a peek at all of it. And so what we're doing is we're going to choose a text from ones I provide you, and then that is going to be the topic that is your topic for your writing project 2. That'll be the text that you analyze. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. Let's take a look at that. Where is that? Oops, it's actually in the same place. Now, you can see a variety of texts here. These are all ones that are credible, published from our McGraw-Hill resources. So these are the ones that I'm giving you as options that you can use to choose from. Are you expected to read all of these? No. But skim through them, take a look at them, see which topic you're drawn towards, which writer style you're interested in. You may peek and see if there's any that you already start noticing things you could analyze, like, oh, this writer really used a lot of great logos here. Look at all this evidence and research. This writer used narration really effectively to evoke emotion in readers. So you might start noticing those things even with skimming or a really rough kind of first read. So choose ones that are interesting to you, but also choose one that you think you could kind of break down. And so you will need to choose one. You might start with narrow it down to 5 and peek at those, and then narrow that down to 3. Maybe kind of give those a quick read. Maybe narrow down to 2 and then down to 1. And that's how I would approach this instead of trying to read all of these, because you're not expected to do that. But to get a sense of what the essay is about, just even looking at it, you can kind of get a sense of, and there's different ones. Some of these are like from published writers that have published in other places, and some of these are more in the style of a sample student essay. So you may notice that some of them look different depending on which one you choose. Okay, so you're going to need to save that document, download it, save it, because we will be using that text again in this module. But first, before we get to that, I have a video here on AI usage. We need to, I'm noticing students kind of abusing AI really in everything from discussion posts, journals, places you don't need to use AI, except the only reason to use AI for that is to cheat, or because you don't want to put the time and effort in. That's really the only reason to use AI for those things, for assignments. And so, if you leave this class, I want to make sure that you know what it means to use AI responsibly and ethically in an academic setting. Because I don't think people are teaching that, to be honest. So I'm going to do my best. And so I've baked in some AI parts of our writing process in this assignment, which we're going to start this week. But before we do that, we need to have a talk about AI. And this guy has a great video. It's the best one that I've seen out there. And at first it sounds like he's talking to teachers, so don't let that throw you off. He starts with teachers and then he'll shift his audience to students. So he has some great advice for you and some things you may not have thought about when it comes to AI use. Okay, then you're going to reflect on that with this short little journal. You're going to reflect on your learning. Just be honest. I'm not there to really judge you. It's for your learning. Okay, then we're going to start getting to know our reading. And what we're going to do in here is you're going to upload that reading because everybody might choose a different one. So you have to upload it to do your own analysis. Now, this is important. You need to do your own analysis, not use AI. This assignment, if you use AI for this, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your own time because you're going to use it later. This assignment, trust yourself, okay? I'm not looking for, oh, such and such student knows so much about ethos. That's not how these are evaluated. That's not the purpose of these assignments. The purpose of these assignments is to give you the space to practice your skills. That's our course outcomes. Our course outcomes are not about product. Like, oh, I just got to hammer out this paper. Nope, that's not what we're doing here. We are learning writing process. And yes, AI can be a part of that process, but you have to know how to use it appropriately. And so first, you need to look at this paper on your own and just do your best. Maybe you're not going to catch everything. You're not going to be a rhetorical analysis expert. That's okay. You're not expected to be. But give your time, challenge yourself. Hey, what do I notice about logos? Hey, can I find pathos in this writing? Is there any ethos? What can I tell what the writer's tone is? Am I able to figure this out? Just challenge yourself and see what you notice in the text first, because we are going to ask AI for some help too. And that'll be on the next assignment. This journal assignment has very specific instructions. Yes, I'm asking you to use AI. You can choose the AI generator of your choice. I give you some ideas up here. And you're gonna, once you've done your own analysis, it's important, make sure you do your own reading of that first before you do this assignment, or you're just wasting your time because this assignment builds off the previous assignment. But you have to use this prompt to do it, and I will be checking to make sure you followed the instructions very exact on this assignment. Use this prompt with the text that you're going to ask AI to help you analyze after you've done your own. Then you are going to provide the prompt you used and the results and show that here. You have to show that. This must be part of it. And then number 4 and 5 is where you're going to do the writing, thinking about some of these questions. Okay? So you get to use AI and you get to learn while you're using it. And hopefully the goal is that this exercise helps you see both what you know and learn and can figure out from a text, but also using AI to help you find some other things or discover some other things about the text maybe you didn't notice. So that's the difference. And then looking at the information and evaluating it and thinking carefully about it, not just grabbing something, copying and pasting it, because that is not how that works or should not work. That is where we have problems with ethics and responsibility. Okay, so once you get familiar with your reading, now we go to resources. I have resources. Use as needed. One of the ones that might be helpful is to see an actual paper. I have an example for you. I have a presentation on thesis statements and introductions. There's a narrated version and this version here where you can pop open. And it goes a little bit into drafting, but the drafting we'll do that next week. I have a handout for thesis statements that can help you, and I have an outlined template that you can start building your paper this week, because that is going to be our next assignment. The goal, what we want, is to get familiar with our reading, to see what are some elements, rhetorical elements we can analyze, and then the last assignment is for you to put together a working thesis and an outline. And if you don't know what I mean by an outline, you can just open my example. This is one that I made many moons ago before AI even existed. And you can use my example. So you have two options. You can choose to just go old school and use my guide, my template, to help you build your outline. Or you can go back to option 1 here and use AI. However, if you do use AI, you have to use the prompt and follow a couple, it's a couple of extra steps. So if you want to use AI and be transparent about it, this is how you do it. I have instructions and you can choose either way. No matter how you do it, it should look something very similar to that outline that I provided you. We are not posting drafts here. I do not want to see a draft here. I want to see an outline. You can have a draft, you can work on a draft, but everything that should be posted here is actually outline format, not an essay draft. And then that will be the bones of your draft that you will have done. So for the following week, you can build the paper out and we will have a draft then that we will submit, do peer review, and work on developing that paper. So we will continue the journey, but that's what you are expected to do this week. If you have questions or need extra help, please reach out.